It's Monday, January 23rd. Zach, what's on the show today?
Hey, we're going to talk about the my beloved Bengals made it to the AFC Championship game. That was a fun game last night. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some movies as well, events going on in our community, library events, this day in history. We got some fun hot topics as well.
So let's don't delay. Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Round 10 is brought to you by Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher. You need realtors who can help navigate the current fast-paced real estate market, so choose local realtors that treat you like family, because real estate is what they do and families are why they do it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Around 10, Frankfurt's Morning Show. I'm Scott Stafford, and that is Zach Hubbard. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Scott.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I feel good. I was sleepy this morning, but I'm kind of, after I had some tea and some coffee here, I'm on the mend, on the way. And my Bengals won yesterday, so I'm still kind of riding high from that.
Who day?
Who day?
I did. I'm excited as well. Zach, I forgot how fun it is when the Bengals are good. So when I was a kid.
And it hasn't been for very long.
Look at that. Look at that. Set aside, I mean, it's, playoffs football. I get into the NFL when the playoffs roll around because I'm not invested the way I was when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But I mean, how can you beat that?
Oh my gosh.
Playoff football in the snow in Buffalo, and it's coming down so hard that, you can, the visibility is, 30 feet, and it was just awesome. In a bunch of ways, but yeah, when I was a kid, it was Boomer and Icky and doing the Icky shuffle.
Yeah,
and it was the first time I got sad about sports ever. I think maybe when they lost the Super Bowl to the Bengals.
The
49ers.
Yeah,
But it wasn't to the point where. But that was the first time I was like, oh, I don't like that. I kind of liked this team, and but now after all these years, they're good again. And we didn't know Zach if it was going to be a one-off last year. I mean, because Marino got to the Super Bowl in his rookie year or second year, and never went back. I don't think, and but was always one of the best quarterbacks that the league has ever seen. So it was no guarantee by any means, and. They're legit. The Bills, all year, have been the team that was going to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC, and Cincinnati just handled them in their place.
Yeah, and this was the matchup that, if you remember last year, people were a little upset, a little bummed out that we didn't get to see the Bengals Bills
after the
play
tragic,
each other.
in
the AFC playoffs last year.
Oh yeah,
and
okay,
then
so last
year,
year.
I was thinking last season, but then also in the regular
year,
season with
right.
the DeMar Hamlin injury there, and thankfully he was there, right? What a sight that was to see him there, trying to pump up the crowd.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about my Bengals going into that game since they had three starting offensive linemen were injured,
it really wasn't.
and so it just seemed like maybe making it to this point is probably the peak. But man, they made me believe again, right? After last night and handing it to the Bills, it wasn't just a last second field goal or an overtime victory or something. It was anytime I thought Bills might get back into it, Bengals had an answer.
Yeah,
so I was happy.
That was the thing, right? Was the offensive line, but from what some of the experts were saying yesterday during the game was that the snow was maybe actually helping the offensive line and the missing folks that they had because just slowing people down, slowing the pass rush down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that worked out in their favor, and Burrow's real good, and
he's real good at football,
and he knows it. And it's kind of like nobody hates Joe Burrow yet. There will probably backlash at some point, but Burrow is a fan of himself. And everybody's digging the confidence right now, and he hasn't done it in a way that's annoying yet.
No.
We'll see if that ever happens, but it's just fun to watch right now. And he believes in his team, and he believes in himself, and Man, it's kind of fun when the Bengals are good.
Yeah, it's fun to see. It's glad that Jamar Chase is healthy too, and he's got his buddy to throw touchdown passes to as well. And
could we get Bengals 49ers Super Bowl
it could
vengeance?
Happen. It really could happen. I would love to see it.
Man, that would be kind of fun. Yeah. And it's hard to root against Brock Purdy, the last pick in the entire NFL draft, and that kid's doing what he's doing. It's kind of wild. So it was a fun day of games yesterday.
Yeah, and just checking in, we haven't introduced our question of the day yet, but I love already a couple of comments there on Facebook today. Carmen DeSanto, we mentioned that we're talking about community events coming up. Frankfurt Con is coming up on Saturday, and we'll actually talk to Carmen on the show on Friday. But he's saying he's excited to be on the show Friday, but also says that thinks David Hecker is still crying from his Cowboys loss last night. Yeah. I didn't realize that Mr. Hecker was a Cowboys fan, so sad to see it. There's another buddy of mine in Louisville that was not happy, not pleased with their performance yesterday. It looked bad. Right? I kind of had it on a little bit in the background.
They did look real bad. Dak Prescott, not a good day at all. My best friend has been a lifelong Cowboys fan, and they're suffering. There's been years of suffering in Dallas.
Check in on your Cowboys friends today.
You want a little bit of movie rumors, Zack?
Oh, I love it. I love movie corner and around.
Yeah. By the way, we can bring them both together because Brett Smith reminds us that Dan Marino did make it into Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, so that's always a check in his favor.
He can add that to it. Great movie.
So let's see, movie rumors. What's the first picture we've got for movie rumors?
Let's see.
Okay, so Adam Driver, who is probably my favorite actor working right now.
Oh,
Zack.
this is news to me. Okay, I support it.
He's the guy. There are rumors that Marvel is talking to the talks have commenced to possibly play Doctor Doom. How do you feel about this? The number one, the ultimate villain in Marvel lore, Doctor Doom. Yeah. How would you feel about that?
I'm here for it. I like it, actually. I hadn't thought about it because the last couple of folks that the comic, and they weren't necessarily Marvel movies, Marvel MCU movies. The last time we've seen Doctor Doom on screen. Have not been memorable performances.
They've been bad.
So I didn't really have any thoughts about who would play him necessarily. I just kind of want to see that character in the MCU at some
point. Done well, done right.
Yeah,
finally
sure.
It right.
So I like it, and it's surprising because I forget. It's like, oh yeah, I mean he's Kylo, but he hasn't been in a Marvel movie yet, and this would be a big splash for him.
My first instinct was, yay, my favorite actor combined with my favorite character, like. Perfect, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm like, well, hold on now. Like, he was Kylo Ren. He was behind the mask. And if you do Doctor Doom right, like, at no point has Doctor Doom ever been... Well, I take that back. There's probably a couple years where they did a thing. But for the most part, for 80 years, the guy's been in a mask. He never comes out of his mask. He's always behind the mask.
Yeah.
It's like he's done that. Maybe we can find... I'd like him to be in the Marvel Universe, but maybe we could find something. But, whatever. He would kill it. I know that.
Oh, I think so, too.
So...
Yeah. And that's kind of like Doom is a beloved character, but he's also like a villain and an anti-hero at times, right? And so... I think he plays that well, as we saw a little bit with his performance of Kylo. So.
I knew Carmen would be excited.
Yeah,
about this topic. So he's all for it. He says that's an amazing choice, and I think he's a big fan too of Doctor Doom. And he said lots of pressure on Marvel for Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, and that's right. They got to get it right this time, and everybody's even more so because everybody expects them to, because it's not Fox this time. It's Feige
and they've been talking
Marvel
about
proper.
Like, Fantastic Four and the X-Men were two of the big character groups that they were people were really wanting Marvel to get at some point, right? And Disney to get their hands on and see an MCU version of it. And so they finally got it and get hopefully an opportunity in the near future to see it.
Yeah, you got to get him right. Last time he was kind of a mud monster.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
You can do it. You can do the mask and the whole suit. I swear. Like you find the right person who can design it. It can be done. And he's got to this is if there's any bad guy that can be multifaceted and have depth to them, it's this guy. Yeah. So get it right. Don't make it. Don't be. It can't be a one-off. It's got to be a lot of depth there.
And I think too, just real quick, people have shown. I mean, they've shown us like Mephisto, right? Like he was a character that looked pretty wild and like similar to his comic book character, and we saw that on the screen, and people were like, "Okay, cool, more of that."
Did we?
Did we Mephisto? Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Dude that was in Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie. Jake Gyllenhaal played him.
Mysterio.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, he looked amazing, right? Yeah.
Like he's got the big bowl helmet
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
How do you do
people
that?
People were like, cool, more of that. So
I think whoever did that one, try to get him to take a crack at this.
Let's go.
Also, next, Tron, I think, is up next. Is that the next picture?
Okay. Yeah.
So supposedly, we're close to this starting shooting, Zach. This has been years and years where they've had some false starts on Jared Leto's Tron that he's kind of been pushing behind the scenes. He wants a Tron, and that they're going to shoot this in August with director Joachim Running, who directed the Maleficent sequel and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Okay.
Do you remember which one that was? And did you?
No.
Dead Men Tell No
Tales. I don't remember
yeah.
any of them after the second one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and because I actually don't know that I've seen any of them after the second one.
I'm in the same spot. I don't know. Tron Legacy, I loved. It's fantastic.
Me and you were some of the early folks out here still riding for Tron Legacy. Yeah. I always did enjoy my experience in the movie and in the theater, and I haven't revisited it very much, but I have fond memories of it. Like Daft Punk did the soundtrack. Like, what's not to love about that?
Especially for that moment in time, it was just perfect. And you take other than the technology wasn't there yet for de-aging Jeff Bridges. That's the only thing that doesn't
Bridges
work.
did look a little strange,
real waxy and weird. So I wish we could have just been further ahead with that, because then it would be just a perfect movie. Like it's so fun. And so the guy that directed that, Joseph Kosinski, is the guy that directed Top Gun Maverick.
Yes. Yeah. And I think he's worked with Tom Cruise in the past and other things too.
I wish he was back because he did it so well, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about Leto and this dude and but I'll give it a shot. I'm going to try to stay open-minded.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we feel about Leto these days. Mm-hmm. He, after why am I blanking on the Morbius? It's like it wasn't like that did not do well, and people hated it. And then I don't think he drew a lot of love for his he was in House of Gucci, and anything he's been in lately, it's just kind of been a bit of a mess. It seems like so. I don't know. Yeah.
Speaking of, we're going to talk more about those. You led right into it, but we got one more movie rumor. It's actually a television show rumor. This has wrapped shooting, Zach.
Oh,
Jared Leto's Skeleton Crew.
Not Jared Leto. He's not in this.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Jude Law.
Yeah.
So
J-N-E-L, I got you.
Yeah. Did you remember that this was a thing? Number one.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Can you tell me anything about it?
No, and I think and that's why I like about it.
Okay.
I just don't know really anything about it. I think I know that I actually don't even remember when it's set. I remember them comparing it to a Stranger Things vibe. They wanted it to be a bit of a cast of characters that are a bit of a ragtag group. And I don't know that they have anything to do with the rebellion necessarily, but I don't remember any. I just remember Stranger Things being kind of tossed out as a bit of an inspiration.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice not to know anything about it going in, and you just hope they get it right.
Yeah.
Do you like Jared Leto? I mean, sorry, Jude Law. Stupid JL.
Yeah,
names.
not why I used to like Jared Leto, not so much anymore.
Yeah,
but Jude Law, I like him.
I do like.
I like
Jude
him
Law.
in just about anything I've seen him.
Me
in.
too.
So.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, now Razzies, real quick. Razzies, the awards come out. They're kind of mean. They give people awards for doing bad movies and bad performances. Tom Hanks has 3 nominations this year.
Our guy was in some movies. Yeah. He was in not great movies, but he was in movies.
Not surprisingly, he got a lot of nominations for his depiction of Tom Parker in Elvis, and his weird accent and all that jazz.
Yeah. Us included. Everybody points to that being the weirdest part of that movie.
It is a bruise on that movie. And so Worst Picture, Disney's Pinocchio, also featuring Tom Hanks, got a Worst Picture nom. And Morbius, like you mentioned. And Blonde, which is the Marilyn Monroe Netflix movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then The King's Daughter and Good Morning, which I don't know those two. The King's Daughter?
I don't know that one either.
Okay. But anyway, Jared Leto's a favorite punching bag of the Razzies. And so he got nominated last year for his role in Gucci, House of Gucci.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I watched that the other, week or two ago.
I wanted to watch it. I know it's on Amazon Prime now, and I haven't seen it, but it's, you got Lady Gaga and Adam Driver and Leto, and it just sounds bonkers, but how was it?
It's bonkers.
Is it? I think it's fun. I think it could be fun if you go in and you meet it on its level.
Yeah.
Like if you just meet it on Lady Gaga, House of Gucci level.
Yes,
Where you're like, I kind of just want to see. I kind of want to have fun.
The first half of it, good. Like
Okay.
I'm digging this. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
This is good. Second half, it falls. But the
It's too
first
long,
half,
right? Is it 2.5 or something?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Why is every? Okay, that's a whole other conversation. But why is every movie 2 hours 30 minutes minimum?
but Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I mean, I might watch the thing again at some point because I just this morning when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that's right.
That is him.
I'm like, man, that was really he was going for it, and it's so crazy and so offensive. And if it was any accent other than Italian, like because apparently you can still make fun of Italians and Irish, and there's a few people that you can still get away with making fun of and really like stereotyping and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is that it is as I mean he is.
My goodness.
And it's amazing. Like, and I kind of want to see it again because he's so like I could, and I might someday go just in and like I'm doing the Jared Leto watch, and this is nothing like I might just fast forward to his scenes
Just find them
because it's listen. I highly recommend it. Carmen DeSanto says it's okay. Make fun of Italians. He loves it.
Oh, okay.
That's nice. That's nice, Carmen. That you could it's that you got the sense of humor, and we need more of that.
Yeah.
And Kathy says they watched Everything Everywhere All at Once over the weekend, and mind blowing, but not in a good way.
I liked it. I wouldn't mind. I'd be interested to hear Kathy's opinion on it.
It's polarizing, right? Because I hear people say it's amazing, and then I hear people say I don't get it. Like I've heard it's amazing, but man, it's too much for me.
Huh? I've actually never heard anybody say that they didn't.
Yeah, I've heard it's about half and half from the people that I've seen. They're mixed bag.
And it is a lot. I don't disagree with that bit of it, but no, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I found lots of stuff to love about that one. Yeah,
interesting.
Potential like best picture winner this year.
I mean,
surprising.
All the critics, are positive.
I kind of thought that would be one that like it had a diehard fan base and people love it and would want to see it, but that it would get like next to no recognition. But I mean, they're winning awards, winning acting awards. Michelle Yeoh, so I'm excited.
A little teaser for Friday. If everybody remembers, for the people who watch the show on a regular basis, we talked about the new lemon lime soda Starry that's out there. I think we're gonna do a taste test, and it's either gonna be Wednesday or Friday. I can't handle it today. I was sick over the weekend. It was
still recovering.
Terrible.
You doing okay today?
I'm doing pretty well, especially compared to the weekend.
Okay.
Like I had a whole weekend. Like I'm gonna Friday night. I'm gonna order pizza and we're gonna watch a movie. And Thursday night.
Tummy had other plans.
Thursday night, my entire weekend got blown up.
Oh my gosh,
it's not fun. But anyway, so we're gonna do taste testing. We're gonna do the whole lineup, and so that should be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun.
But we got a question of the day for everybody.
Yes. We're talking about movies. We've been talking about movies this morning, and we love talking about movies and the experience of going to a movie theater. And so we're asking folks out there if they have any thoughts about how they would bring people back to the movie theater, right? Because overall, the numbers have looked good for a lot of big movies, right? Like movies are breaking records left and right, but it's not really not left and right. But like this past year was kind of a wild, like people are trying to come back, but people always complain about it's it's such an ordeal, right? Or it costs $50, $60, $70 for like 3 people, parents and a kid to go see a movie with popcorn and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So we're asking folks, what would they do to try to bring people back to the movie theater, enhance that experience in some way? You have anything that comes to your mind?
I've thought about it a little bit. So you've got kind of a direction that James Cameron wants to go in with, like 3D was his first thing, and like all 3D all the time. We all know how that that was big for a while, kind of like it blew up in the 50s, it blew up in the 2000s, and
like every movie had a 3D.
Everything was 3D,
screening, yeah.
And then he wanted to go high frame rate. Right, so 48 frames a second instead of, and not to get in the weeds, but for hundreds of years, movies have been shot in 24 frames a second. The way your eye sees is closer to probably like 60 frames a second, and it makes it start looking like about the same speed. There's motion blur. When you get less frames a second, there's motion blur, so it kind of separates it from reality a little bit. That's what I like about movies. It makes it kind of a painting instead of like I'm looking at and when people see, and when your TV speeds movies up to make it look like there's more frames per second, it looks like a soap opera. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but people might not. They don't have like the vocabulary to be able to explain that. Right. They're just like, why
this
does
doesn't look
weird. This doesn't look like a movie. It looks like a TV show.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's for reasons like that. And so to me, and again, everybody grew up with that. Maybe we like it because that's what we grew up and what we're used to. And if we had grown up the other way. But anyway, you got one contingent that wants to kind of push into the like technological, let's make things look different and better in their mind, what would be better. And to me, it's not that. So I say kind of no to that. Like, I think it looks amazing. I want some separation between reality. I go more of just give me the best seat I can possibly recline in, like where we've kind of like other people that way, and you've kind of gone that way in theaters where you've got less seats, you got recliner seats, you got some people do food in there. I don't know about that, but I think I just the heated, the cooled seats, the sound.
Yeah,
the Atmos sound, the absolute best picture quality you can get. Every single theater. If you got some theaters that are run down, upgrade them. But give me the best possible picture quality, sound quality. Give me the Atmos stuff because that stuff's pretty neat. Don't blow me out. But I think that's. I don't have any better ideas than that. Just give me the best possible experience in there.
Yeah, like it's improving the experience.
Better than I can get in my house.
While you're there.
Yeah.
A few responses we've got chiming in. Randy Rosenbaum says, free popcorn. And you've seen some places do that. There are, like if you get tickets through maybe their app or something, it's like a free popcorn kind of deal, or a voucher for something from the snack bar.
You'd have to go backwards almost to do that, right? Because you'd have to. That's the only way the theaters make money is off the food.
That's the way they make money.
Yeah, back in the day when the studios used to own the theaters, then you could get away with stuff like that. You could give away food because you're spending to see their movie.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, free popcorn to get people in the seats. Yeah.
Director Brett is punching buttons there for us today and working double duty, giving us a comment. He says he loves going to the movies, but I can do without assigned seats going forward. Probably not a popular opinion.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I'd like to. I mean, we might need like a follow-up.
To me, this is the best thing that's ever happened to movies is assigned seats. I don't have to show up and get there and I
think the only thing that I mean, because I'm with you 100%. I love going to the movie and picking my seat ahead of time and knowing where I'm going to be, and there's no worry about it or no conversation that always happened before. Where do you want to sit?
Yeah, I don't want to get stuck on this.
It's not.
End.
It's now. Where's our seats?
Right.
E3 and E4. That's what it is. And so I don't have to have that worry or conversation or anything.
The off chance that you might end up in the front row if you don't if something happens, you go long at dinner and you're doing this.
Yeah. Well, you know what's awesome is when somebody with those reclining seats. Love the reclining seats. More of that stuff, please. But I love how much space there is too. You can be fully reclined and somebody else needs to get up and use the restroom, and it's not bothering you. before, I mean, you remember the before those seatings where you would have to stand, like somebody needs to go use the restroom.
Right.
We do because movies are 3 hours long now, of course. Like half the row. Okay.
Right.
Yep. And you got to stand up and like let them through, and then like everybody 2 rows, 3 rows behind you can't see. It's a bit of a mess. But yeah, the stadium seating I think is great. But maybe what Brett is thinking is the is the like sometimes
Brett says high risk, high reward. I understand the risk part. What is the reward?
Because I don't know. Yeah, but the only thing that I could think of would be it can be a bit of a hurdle for some folks. Because I don't know if you notice, like when you go see a movie, there are still people standing there at the box office, like buying tickets right then and trying to pick their seat and everything. And so that can be a bit of a hurdle for some folks where they're like, wait, I should have done this 4 hours ago. Like, why am I, like if you haven't maybe been to a movie in a couple years or something, you're like surprised that most of them have assigned seats now. So
yeah. My dad says every theater should be Lex Live. So down there across from Rupp.
That's a whole experience too.
It is. It is a good one. They've got the Atmos sound in there, I think he saw the Top Gun in there, and maybe the Elvis, and the Top Gun. But yeah, so I think that's what you got to do. I think you just got to make it real nice in there, and maybe even class the joint up like theaters used to be, like real ornate, like make me feel like I'm doing something, make me feel like I'm going to something special. Oh yeah. Because it's kind of like black boxes now, like, maybe, just jazz the place up a little bit, and maybe you serve beer. And
most of them serve beer.
Do they now? Most of them?
And then like a lot of places will have like you could order like margaritas. Like you can order like mixed drinks and stuff there. So they've already, that is one thing I will applaud. That is nice to like just go and like grab a beer. Sometimes I have to use the bathroom 45 minutes in, but that's fine.
But
that's the risk.
Yeah, I got a pretty nice screen at home. You got to make me feel a little bit more. You got to give me something. You got to give me some incentive. You can get a pretty nice, viewing experience at the house these days.
I think what's tough to beat is the sound. I think you're onto that. There's something about the sound quality
and the shared viewing experience.
Yes, shared movie experience.
Nothing beats it.
And because I watched it, we'll move on. We're just having a lot of fun talking about this. But I watched like a YouTube video over the weekend that talked about like why do we need subtitles? Like why do people use subtitles more and more often nowadays? Like us at home, we can't like hear our TV without subtitles, if that makes sense. Like we don't necessarily know what's going on screen without it, and it feels weird when they're not there. Sometimes I choose to not look at it, but it's always there for us. And different generations are like, get that reading bowl off the TV.
Yeah, that's me.
You're like, I want to read my movie.
No, and my film professors would have smacked you with a ruler.
So, well, here's the thing: is they talk about how movies and things are so compressed these days. When it hit, by the time a movie is produced and made and all that stuff, and then by the time it winds up on Netflix, it has all these channels of audio that they're working with. But then when it winds up there, you might be only reading 2 or 5, right? 5.1 surround sound. So it's like everything's kind of compressed. Some performances, we're looking at you, Tom Hardy, I love you, but he mumbles through like everything that he's in, And so sometimes you just don't, you miss lines of dialogue. And so it's just, it's fascinating to me. Where you're at a movie theater, you might have 30, 40 speakers or whatever some of those experiences
I tend to, only in a very, very rare occasion do I miss a line here and there. And so I've never had a problem with it. My wife is a huge subtitles person. She would have them on all the time for everything. Brett blames it on the audio mixing. He says it's a lost art. Kathy Lindsay says play the movies on little screens in the bathroom so you don't miss anything if you got to run to the restroom. How about that?
Oh.
So maybe every stall has a different theater
Yeah, because you do run into the issue of like people probably camping out in the bathroom watching movies they didn't pay for, which would be weird. But you know what I mean? But like you come in and you're like, oh, I planned on seeing this movie tomorrow or 3 days from now, and I'm spoiling it because I'm using the bathroom.
Okay, so what if when you walk in, they give you a Disney wristband, and when you walk in the stall, you beep it, and then so it knows you've got a ticket, it knows which movie you're watching, and then what?
No, okay. Here's my real answer to our question today, and we should probably move on. But we're having fun. We're having fun, right? Everybody's enjoying
themselves. That's what the show's about.
Yeah. I think the one thing I would add, intermission. You got to have intermission.
Yeah, especially for
I am fine. If you're
movie,
talking
right?
about, and people probably get mad, and we're like, oh no, it gets mad more to my night. It's fine. You've already spent like $50 on potentially you and your date to see a movie, and it's a night out.
That might
give yourself 20 minutes right in the middle of the movie, and just like build it into the thing. And
that might be one of the things that makes the theater experience more special too. Something different than at home. Like, we don't do intermission at home. We go to the theater, we mingle out there, we talk about what we've seen so far.
Yeah, you can come out and be like, ooh, what's going to happen in Act 3? Like, it just ended in this pivotal point. Let me use the restroom. Let's get a refill on our Coke or whatever. And like, it's
the theaters would have to love it. Another chance for people to buy stuff.
Yeah, because typically people are getting everything before the movie. Probably not getting up mid-movie and getting a candy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Studios would not love it. They'll say no because that's the longer the movie is, the less viewings they can get. So.
Well, yeah. But they're already making every movie 3 hours long anyways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so if you want to comment along, thanks for commenting along on Facebook. You all, that's why we've gone so long. It's a lot of fun chatting with you folks. And Crystal says subtitles on everything, please. But if you're not watching on Facebook, you can comment along on the text machine. 502-353-0233. Hit us up there about that or anything else we talk about on the show. And you all are still commenting. We'll get to those as we go, and we will check back in with you in a bit. But we need to jump into the community calendar.
First one we've got today, the OCA Connect group. That's the Orphan Care Alliance. They have a monthly support group designed for families in all ages, all stages of the adoption and foster care journey. Connect meetings will feature adoption specialists who can come alongside parents to answer some tough questions throughout the adoption process and provide opportunities to fellowship and encourage other families in a safe and loving environment. This is Wednesday evening at 6:30 at Buck Run Baptist Church on Leestown Road. You can find more info on the Orphan Care Alliance by visiting orphancarealliance.org.
And next up, we've got the Oak Conference on Thursday, January 26th through Saturday, January 28th at Kentucky State University. Their Harold R. Benson Research and Demonstration Farm on 1525 Mills Lane.
Yeah.
Meals.
And this is the Organic Association of Kentucky's annual farming conference. It's now in its 12th year. It includes a growing audience of hundreds of Kentuckians and neighbors active in our community food systems. You got farmers, researchers, nonprofit professionals, the whole works there. And it's the whole thing is a synergy of diverse voices, messages, and approaches combined with place-based connection to our Kentucky farms, soil, and communities, and will provide a rich foundation for conversation and growth.
Yeah. Also, clean out your closets and garages and bring your collectibles to the Collectible Buyer Road Tour show for free appraisal, and the collectible buyer will buy them from you. I saw this on, I don't know if it's Facebook or somewhere, but maybe an advertisement for this. I was like, admission and parking is free. They buy comic books, toys, records, lunch boxes, sports cards, video games, magazines, and wrestling items. So I feel like we could do a question of the day about this later, maybe. But this is this Friday, the 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Capitol Plaza Hotel.
And then Saturday, there's lots of stuff on Saturday. We already talked about Frankfurt Con, and we'll mention it again here in a second. But there's the Frankfurt Ice Bowl. It's a 24-hole unsanctioned disc golf tournament to benefit the Access Soup Kitchen and Men's Shelter in downtown Frankfurt. Play one round of 24 at East Frankfort Park, and you can do an optional second round. Just go to frankfurtdga.com to see the information there, and that's for Frankfurt Disc Golf.
Oh, the collectible buyers tour is Carmen. It's part of.
Oh, he's doing okay. Yeah, I was like, it's me, guys. They're like, where are you?
That makes sense.
That makes sense now.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, so where are we?
The Penguins Workshop. That's Saturday morning. Yeah, Broadway Clay. You can use pinch pot and sculpture techniques as well as overlapping glaze colors. And you can create your own Arctic penguin. That's fun. So it's not just a little pot; it's a little little penguin guy. Hand building workshops are a great way to be introduced to clay, and the class begins with a demo followed by guided instruction. And again, the cost on that is $30, and that's Saturday. Saturday, 9:30 to 11 a.m.
What could be cuter than that? Mm-hmm. And then here's the big one. For our guy on January 28th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Collectors Mecca Convention located in beautiful Frankfurt. Frankfurt Con strives to be Kentucky's best and truest Comic-Con. $20 admission, cash only at the door. Kids under 11 are free, and usually it's like kids under 2. So I mean that's awesome. Kids under 11 are free.
That is nice.
Over 100 featured guests, attractions, vendors, and artists. Loads of stuff going on through the day. You know what we're talking about. Super Smash Brothers tournament is going to be there, and cosplay contest, and people in Frankfurt always show out with cosplay. I'm always amazed at the community here of the cosplay folks. I saw that Kit is going to be there, maybe a little Knight Rider action.
The DeLorean.
Yeah,
be there too.
So Carmen DeSanta will be on the show Friday to fill us in on everything else going on. You can go to frankfurtcomiccon.com see who's coming, see the guests that are going to be there and whatnot. We'll talk all about it on Friday, and I'm glad to hear it's him. He's the collectible buyer.
Yeah, it's him.
So if I bring my comic books, he'll give me top dollar retail value on them.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. Yep. Book value.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also Saturday night, if you haven't gotten your fill for fun things going on, there's live music at Locals Food Hub and Pizza Pub, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hannah Howard will be performing. She's stepped into the music scene in 2022, and her musical career has taken inspiration from artists like David Ramirez to bring forth a new spin on indie folk rock, claiming the title of ethereal folk. I've never heard that genre
I don't
before.
think I have either, but it sounds fun.
Yeah, it does sound fun. She's rooted in Eastern Kentucky, and Hannah's raw and impassioned songwriting was birthed from life in small town Appalachia. So check that out, 5 p.m. on Saturday at Locals.
Yeah. And the Pour Over Painting Workshop on Sunday, January 29th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Broadway Clay on West Broadway. Coffee lovers are simply going to they're going to go gaga over the pour over coffee set. Plop in a filter and pour hot water over those perfectly grinded beans for a magical cup of coffee. The classic mug shape will appeal to all as well. Round out your coffee mug line with the pour over coffee set. And so, we're talking about designs and color schemes that are going to be ready to go for you. So get you a nice coffee mug. Yeah. You make your own.
Scott, I think we should find out what's going on at the library this week. Mystery Book Group. Love a good mystery novel, a good mystery story. You can join them at the library where they'll discuss 1979 by Val McDermott. That's tonight in the community room at 7 p.m. And they also meet every fourth Monday of each month. So you can join in the discussion. Contact J.C. West at Paul Sawyer Public Library. Find out more information at pspl.org. All are welcome.
And we've got the planner party. The new year is on us, and that probably means you have a brand new planner. So join us for a planner party to meet up with fellow planning enthusiasts. Share organizational ideas and get creative. We'll have some basic supplies on hand like colored pen stickers and washi tape. Just bring your own planner.
Yeah. Organizers unite. I love it.
OCD
I do love
gathering.
I do love a good organization. Do you like to catalog and organize things at home?
I like things being organized. There's a part of me.
I do like a media log on my devices where I have a Google Keep note where I track everything that I watch and read and play throughout a year. I like doing that, but I'm looking forward to doing. I need to actually make a vinyl list of all the records that I've got and like update that. There's a way to do that, and like letterboxed. I'm into it. I like it.
Yeah.
There's also preschool story time, youth program room, Wednesday morning, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. You can join them for stories, songs, crafts, and other activities for preschoolers ages 4 through 5. Registration is required there, and also for the paper quilling for tweens at the youth program room that evening on Wednesday evening, 4:30. Tweens in grades 3 through 5 create a colorful piece of art using everyday items. Sounds like a good time.
Perfect. And now, I think we should find out what happened on this day in history. Oh, it's a big one in toy history, Zach. Machines at the Wham-O Toy Company rolled out the first batch of their aerodynamic plastic discs, known as...
Frisbee.
The story of the Frisbee began in Bridgeport, Connecticut, where William Frisbee opened the Frisbee Pie Company. Did you already know this, Zach?
I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, really? In 1871. So students from nearby universities would throw the empty pie tins to each other and yell, "Frisbee." I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I mean, but as they let go. And in 1955, a man named Frederick Morrison, who'd co-designed the plastic version of the Frisbee, sold the improved model to the new toy company Wham-O as the Pluto Platter, an attempt to cash in on the public craze over UFOs. The company, after accidentally misspelling its creator's name, went on to sell 100 million Frisbees by 1977. Variations of sports such as ultimate frisbee and disc golf evolved over time, but that's a successful toy right there.
And then another big one here in our hearts, Scott, 1984, Hulk Hogan becomes the first wrestler to escape the camel clutch. Signature move of a reigning WWF
First
champion.
ever, Zach.
First ever. I'm just like building the myth of stories like that. It was his signature move, Iron Sheik's signature move, and he defeated Iron Sheik to win his first ever WWF title at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Victory began what became known as Hulkamania. Mm-hmm. That's right, brother. As Hogan's phenomenal popularity led to a golden age for professional wrestling. A Southern working-class hero in the eyes of his fans, Hogan advised young Hulkamaniacs to say their prayers and take their vitamins and to believe in themselves. His championship reign lasted 4 straight years, and his enduring popularity brought unprecedented mainstream attention to the sport.
Hogan has his personal problems, but the character of Hulk Hogan...
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
you know,
made for a magical childhood.
Mm-hmm. Magical childhood, and then it made you want to burn your house to the ground when he did what he did and joined the NWO in the late 90s. Oh, no. Yeah.
That amazing. Like, in pop culture, like Hogan is probably responsible for 2 or 3 of my favorite moments of all time. That I just amazing stuff. We can't go down this rabbit hole. But,
oh my gosh, we're opening up all of the Pandora's boxes here for me and Scott. Talking about movies and Marvel stuff, movie theaters, wrestling. Like what?
Tony Schiavone's reaction when Hulk Hogan dropped a leg on Randy Savage to turn heel. Mm-hmm. Just perfect.
Whose side is he on?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bobby the Brain almost gave it away.
Yeah, Schiavone closed the show with, Hulk Hogan, you can go to...
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of the show. So good. Amazing. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I can go forever on Hogan stuff, but we can't. In 1556, on this date, the deadliest earthquake in history rocks China. The quake struck in late evening in the Shaanxi province of China, with aftershocks continuing through the following morning. Later scientific evidence revealed that the magnitude of the quake was approximately 8.0 to 8.3, which isn't close to the strongest tremor on record. However, the quake struck in the middle of a densely populated area with poorly constructed buildings and homes, resulting in the horrific death of a toll of about 830,000 people in one shot.
That's insane.
It is insane.
Yeah, like that's like a meteor hitting the Earth, 60 million years ago.
Yeah, that's literally the Earth opening up. 60 foot deep crevices opened in the Earth, and entire towns were leveled. Landslides, The number of casualties is an approximation. Even if it's overestimated, the quake would still rank as the worst disaster in history by a considerable margin.
And in 1849, at a graduation ceremony at a church in Geneva, New York, Geneva Medical College bestows a medical degree upon Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman in the United States to receive one. Despite the near uniform opposition of her fellow students and medical professionals, Blackwell pursued her calling with an iron will and dedicated her life to treating the sick and furthering the cause of women in medicine. Faced with sexist discrimination at every turn, Blackwell not only received her degree and practiced medicine, but contributed greatly to the education of the first generation of female doctors in America. The profession remained notoriously male for many, many years, but the progress that started with Blackwell continues. 2017, for the first time ever, a majority of medical students in the United States were women. Oh, wow. And in large part, that's thanks to groundbreakers like Miss Blackwell here. It's amazing.
Yep, no question.
Yeah.
Brett Smith says Iron Sheik wins the Twitter battle, though. That's probably true.
Yeah.
That's something else. So let's do next. Coming up, we're going to tell you what's coming up on Cable 10. We've got hot topics we haven't even touched yet. We're going to check in with your comments, most of all, right after this.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
FPB knows reliable internet is more important than ever. It lets us work from home, share life with family and friends, and make vital connections online. To help, qualifying customers can now access the new Affordable Connectivity Program and step up to fast, reliable FPB internet at a savings of up to $30 per month. Learn more about this new opportunity. Visit FPB online today.
What are they saying out there in the world of Facebook, Zach?
Well, hey, Papa chimes in and says, I'd say you have to charge for tickets at scale of the movie's budget. I'm talking about our question of the day, enticing people to potentially come back to theaters. I don't know that would entice people because, when you're talking about like an Avatar, how much it costs to make.
I see what he's getting at, though, that, they talk about people aren't coming to the theater for the little movies, right? So maybe, if prices stay where they are for the big ones, but if the smaller movies, maybe ticket prices were lower, it's not a bad idea. It's worth it kicking around because, and we need reasons for people to keep making smaller, more character-driven pieces or story-driven pieces. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. And Carmen DeSanto says he wants your comics, by the way.
He can't have mine. I've got a very small, curated collection. I don't need that cash just yet, but maybe someday.
Leslie Smith says all of it, right? Lower the price, nicer theaters, better sound, better quality of movies. She just, got to do it all and get us better movies out there.
Yeah.
And then my mom says no theaters for her. She prefers to be able to pause when she needs to go to the bathroom. And I think it's one thing. People have just gotten so used to watching some of these big movies at home, and we were lucky during the pandemic where a lot of those things were coming onto streamers either day of or a lot sooner than normal. And so I think that kind of, I don't know, it led to a lot of folks being like, hey, I would rather just wait. I'd rather just wait and not see it there and be able to pause and do all the stuff.
I'm a wonderful designer. That's my Jared Leto.
That's your Jared Leto from there? Okay. That wasn't your Italian accent. That was your Jared Leto.
I'm not doing an offensive accent. I'm doing Jared Leto. It's pretty amazing. Zach has to watch.
How does it rank with Colin Farrell as the Penguin in Batman? So I feel like he kind of did a bit of a similar thing.
Oh no!
What are you?
It's not even close. I mean, it is Mario level.
Oh my god! You imagine if if Chris Pratt had shown up with that voice as Mario?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's find out what's coming up on Cable 10.
Yeah.
Look at the old logo of Cable 10.
You like it?
Yep.
Monday, tonight, live City Commission regular meeting. We'll be live on Cable 10 at 5 p.m. We'll also be streaming on the City of Frankfort's Facebook page. Tuesday, you can see at 6 p.m. and 7:45 girls and boys basketball. These were the two games that we did this past weekend on Friday night. And Franklin County was at Frankfort High at Franklin County from Friday. So that'll be available for you to rewatch on Tuesday night. And also all these programs will be on the Cable 10 YouTube channel as well.
Cool. Let's heat things
cool.
up.
Let's do it.
Zach, you may have to find some scrap junk and sell it to the Jawas if you want to go to Disney World.
That's how much it's going to cost.
Do you know how much, Zach, that it costs to go to stay at the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser for two people for 2 nights?
I can't imagine. I feel like I probably would need to be a high-ranking official in the Empire to make that
Let's
happen.
take a wild guess.
Oh, for me?
2 nights, 2 people.
Oh, 2 nights, 2 people. Since it's pretty exorbitant, I'm just gonna say, I don't know, like $1,000. Is that right? 5,000. Whoa.
Yeah. Apparently, people think that might be too much. So, because based on a new report from Theme Park Tourist, this week, Disney has canceled a number of Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser voyages for select dates in July, August, and September due to low occupancy. It's not worth it to them to do it because they've got so few people staying. They can't, they can't break even. Those guests affected have been contacted and offered another date with a 50% reduction. So we've already heard reports that our guy, what's his name? So there was Chapek, there's Bob Chapek and Bob Iger. Bob Iger's back. He's lowering some things. A lot of things prices are being lowered at Disney World that Chapek did that a lot of people didn't like, and that seemed exorbitant. And this seems like this could be the next thing. That it's just their price point is not working. And so they're going to have to rethink things at the Star Cruiser.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and it seems like this affects a lot of theme parks, right, nationwide and worldwide. That there's just in general, some of the prices are just getting pretty.
Yeah, Disney World was real bad.
Yeah,
real bad. Yep.
I don't know. I would love to see like the Star Wars thing, the Galaxy's Edge, but I've never been to Disney. No, it's
ever in your life?
No,
it's got to happen though, right? I mean, have you all talked about going?
Actually, no, not really. But we would. I think we probably will do it, but it just hasn't been a priority. Who
would like this more than Zach? I feel like
I don't
especially,
know.
Especially Star Wars
the
land.
the Galaxy's Edge bit for Star Wars. I've heard it's awesome, and you kind of one of those things you just can't replicate. You have to be there to do the whole thing. And I don't know. I had a great time. We went to 8 years ago. Me and my dad did the Harry Potter experience thing, but even then, they get you at Universal. You got to do both sides of the theme park to see all the Harry Potter stuff because they know a lot of folks are just going to come for that. So it's a whole thing. Yep. I wouldn't mind going at some point. I feel like I will. It just hasn't been a priority,
Okay, what's next?
What's next? Should we do we have time to get through? Yeah, we'll do this one. When you're steer your family, there's a stray cow visits Oklahoma Olive Garden. Patrons of a Stillwater, Oklahoma Olive Garden enjoyed dinner and a show when a cow was caught by local police and animal control while hanging out outside the restaurant. Luckily for all parties, the cow was detained before it could enter and really put the restaurant's "When You're Here, Your Family" slogan to the test. But if you have an endless soup, salad, and breadsticks bar, do you really expect everyone not to show up?
He looks like a cute one.
Yeah.
He's a little fuzzy guy.
Give him a bowl of breadsticks.
Look at him.
Or something, right?
Look at that
guy. This is just one of many animals in predicaments stories so far just this year. Others include a family finding a bear hibernating under their deck in Connecticut, an alligator found in a vacant lot in New Jersey.
Whoa.
New
Jersey?
Yeah, New Jersey. A lost sheep rescued on a frozen lake in Michigan.
Right.
It got rescued. That's good.
Yeah.
And most distressingly, a bear taking a swim in a California family's backyard pool. Whoa. He just needed a dip.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we tell everybody about social media at this point, you think?
Possibly. We've still got like 5
One more
ish minutes if you want to do it.
Okay, all right, let's do another one.
Clouded with a chance of leopard. Zoo loses track of clouded leopard in Dallas. Speaking of wandering animals, here's maybe the most frightening alert you could possibly get. A leopard escaped its enclosure and went missing at a Dallas, Texas zoo. I remember following this a little bit. This was a couple weeks ago. I remember following this a little on Twitter. With the Dallas Zoo, they had to close to contain the situation. The leopard, Nova, was described as not dangerous and likely hiding somewhere on the grounds. At the time of the incident, first reported Friday morning when zoo staff reported for work and found the animal missing. Later that evening, gosh, that's a tough day at work, right? You work at the zoo and you're like, oh, there's just a leopard gone from its enclosure.
Yeah.
That's something you don't want. Worst case scenario. Later that evening, Nova was found unharmed, and an investigation was launched to determine if she had managed to escape her enclosure or if a human had tampered with the cage and let her out. So, yeah, I'm curious if they find out an answer for that one.
Not the first time for the Dallas Zoo. In 2004, a 340-pound gorilla named Jabari jumped over a wall and went on a 40-minute rampage. That's scary.
Yeah, it really is.
Holy moly. Our number one Disney enthusiast has weighed in. And
finally.
Leslie
Yes.
Smith says, if I'm paying big money to go to Disney, I do not, I'm not paying for it to be locked into a hotel playing Star Wars.
Frankly, how dare you?
Yeah, because that is when you go to the 2-day Star Wars thing. It's not like you just stay there and you go to the park. Like because it's a full immersive experience. You're living Star Wars for 2 days, basically.
Yeah, I would rather it be like the pleasure barge and Solo, and not be the like prison from Andor, right? Like let's not stay there. Like one way out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I finished. Did I tell you that? I finished Andor. We finished it a few weeks ago.
All right. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Cannot
pretty good,
recommend
right?
higher.
Pretty
Such
good.
a good show.
Got to be one of the best things they've made.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, I guess you call it. You call it.
Me
buddy.
call it.
All right, one more.
Okay.
We can keep going. Slow trap. I'll say a South Carolina bill allowing police to charge a bigger fine for people driving slow in the left lanes of interstate. I love it. And all the other multi-lane highways is one of the first to be taken up in the state in 2023. A Senate subcommittee Tuesday approved increasing the fine from $25 up to $100 and giving most of the increased amount to the State Highway Patrol. Lawmakers based the so-called slowpoke bill in 2021 over roughly a year. State troopers wrote nearly 500 tickets.
That's surprising to me that they actually wrote that many tickets for people like driving slow.
It doesn't surprise me. Get over.
Well, it's like a common complaint, but
Yeah.
I just don't know that I would see, like, usually they're coming after folks going like 20 over on the interstate.
Yeah. It requires drivers in the left lane to move over if a car comes up behind them and the right lane is clear. It had an immediate impact, but has since receded, prompting the increase in fines. So people.
Yeah. I could see it. Like, it depends on what that is. Like, if you're, like, definitely that's kind of the way of the road, so to speak, is get over, like, get on, if you're driving a little slower or driving closer to the speed limit, like, hang out on the right lane. But I feel like it maybe doesn't warrant, like, a pullover until they're going, like, dangerously slow, right?
Yeah.
Like, to the point where it could cause, like, semi-trucks to, like, run into each other if you're going like 40 miles below the speed limit on the interstate, right?
Yeah. The thing is, it doesn't take much, and I totally get
true.
what you're saying. But if you're going slow enough that people are having to pass you in the right, then it almost immediately starts getting dangerous.
Yeah.
But last one is Yo-Yo Ma is going to play in Mammoth Cave.
I heard about this.
Yeah, the Louisville Orchestra is apparently going to be playing in a lot of unique places on a little tour they're doing, and the Louisville Chamber Choir and a solo percussionist. The music performed during the special event was created especially for the acoustics of Mammoth Cave by American composer Teddy Abrams. Also cool. It's part of a short residency in which Yo-Yo Ma is set to perform with the Louisville Orchestra for 5 days total, starting in April. The Mammoth Cave performances will be Saturday, April 29th. And they'll be at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Tickets for the event are going to be distributed by lottery through recreation.gov, and people may apply for a chance at tickets starting Monday, January 30th. All lottery applications are charged a $1 fee, but it's unclear how many tickets are being offered. And the lottery closes at 10 a.m. on February 5th, so get in there if you want to.
Yeah, I bet those will go fast.
Yeah.
It sounds like an awesome experience.
Yep. All right, everybody. We'll save the rest for later. If you don't follow us on social media, make sure you do that on Facebook. Search for Cable 10. Also, subscribe on YouTube. We've got all our archive programming there, youtube.com/cable10. Send any comments or questions you have to cable10@fewpb.com or the text machine at 502-353-0233. Somebody needs to send me something on the text machine because I feel like it could be on the fritz. So try it out there if you haven't today. And remember, everybody, thanks for watching, first of all. A fun show with you all going back and forth. We'll be back on Wednesday with Kathy and Harvey.
I think Kathy's out on Wednesday, but it'll be somebody. It'll be somebody here on Wednesday. So, yeah.
All right. So we'll be back, and remember, if it happens around town,
it's on around 10.